Menu seems to be working alright now. I can actually get invites out. Possibly. Let's hope so anyway. Yeah, they're flying along now, the invites. Yeah, menu's working fine. Get a couple of spare invites out to everyone. And yeah, we're all good to go. As soon as everyone readies up. Yeah, unfortunately, well, we were going to have a full grid, but yeah, a couple of people have had PlayStation troubles, including myself. You know, it's been going incredibly slow, and Cryptic Alibi unfortunately can't even sign in, so he's now unable to race. But we have got Dylan, last week's League One winner, wasn't he? He's going to be reserving at Racing Point. I'm sure he will do Cryptic proud in that Racing Point. I don't think it's reserved for a couple of weeks, Dylan, but yeah, as you can see, you might notice a couple of changes. Irish Nude Potato, he is now full-time in that Mercedes as Julie has stepped away from his seat down to a reserve, and so goes Argentina. He stepped away to be reserved. So Vintage has stepped up to the championship, so we can observe his League One from the side instead of being in the race. Yeah, everyone's saying Formula Moments, let's Jake the Slayer. So Austria, and of course this is a halfway mark, isn't it? So after this race we're halfway through the season. No racing next weekend. We'll have an event which will be announced tomorrow for next weekend, just as it is Easter weekend, and obviously some people might want to spend that off a game. But of course we do have a couple of break weeks. Anyway, let's have a little look into the standings. Actually, we'll wait till there's a few more people on. Ooh, that's looking pretty dark. They're on the soft tyres. They're on dry tyres. But it's looking pretty dark around, isn't it? Yeah, that's the other change as well. I've got, 3 changes. Plotters, his name. I used to call him Pixers. Told me in the week it's Plotters, so we call him Plotters. He's moved up from League One to the Championship, and he's swapped with Bill, as Bill can no longer make Championship. And Bill, of course, back in League One, I think he won the race, didn't he, in Austria in League One. And then, Plotter's going to be taking his seat. Young Tommy saying hello, lads. Young Tommy was he was next in line to reserve, but only one person backed out in the end. So. Yeah, and Cryptic still saying he can't even connect to PlayStation.
He's had issue with his PlayStation before, though, hasn't he? I don't know if he's got a new PlayStation or.
Yeah, he did before, but it's the servers, isn't it? Because it happened to about 5 of us, but for some reason Cryptic still unable to connect. See Ayrton in the Williams. He's going to be the first car around the track, and I wonder what the weather's going to be like. What does it say for you?
Dry, but.
Or back for the race?
What's going to happen? It says dry for race, but who knows?
Yeah, always changes dry race, saying Adam in the comments. And young Tommy saying, let's go Plotters, mate. And he is in the Alfa Romeo alongside the Parkter.
Oh, I'm going to have a little go out first, see what I can do. Not a lot, but.
Ayrton's the only car out on track at the moment. Oh, actually, now we've got an Alfa Romeo joining him. Ayrton's going to get the camera time. Yeah, we'll have a look into the standings then. In the lead, we have got Liam with 170. Sloth's then got 145. Vice Sheng with 124. 116 for the Parkter. So it's a top 4, and there's then a gap of 47 points down to 5th, which is Jake the Slayer, and then DT Bevs. So yeah, it's a clear top 4 at the moment. Only 3 of them can get promoted though, so it really is going to start to intensify as we get to the halfway mark. And Ayrton's now going to cross the line to start his lap. Yeah, and of course we have a couple of new drivers as well. Promotes a couple towards the bottom, and of course they need to pick up points as soon as possible. So Irish, Plotters and Vintage on their debuts today. I'm sure they'll be wanting to pick up points. It is a big DRS train round here, isn't it? So there's every opportunity to cling on.
Personal experience, it's not the greatest.
Constructors, we have Well, I was about to say Alfa Romeo in the lead, but I realise I'm looking at the Premier League ones. Championship Constructors standings. In the lead we have McLaren with 197, and then Williams with 155. Ferrari in third. They've really picked up lately. I think they're bottom after 5 races, but the last 6 races they've gone all the way up to third. They're on fine form, the Ferrari, with Farf and DT Bevs. Farf got up getting a podium in Monaco. I think he did as well, didn't he? No, he didn't. He didn't get a podium in Monaco. That was in the Premier League. What track was it last week?
Oh God.
Completely forgotten.
Yeah, I've forgotten.
Well, whatever it was, Farf got a podium last week.
I've gone wide.
It was Brazil. There we go. Yeah, and Ayrton does a 104.7. That's the first time we get set on the board. We'll have a look with Plotters next. He's the next car to set timed that. Have a look at the onboard. And it is Invalidations City around here, isn't it? You see so many penalties. I think BX Pro in League 1. Sorry to mention it. He had a good race, actually. I think he had 21 seconds worth of penalties. Was very nearly invalidating there, Plotters. And he does a 103.5. It's a really good time there, showing why he's been promoted to the championship and got a racing point about across the line. And that is just a car. That's Theo on his outlap. We have a Red Bull, and that is going to be Adam going up to P2 of a 103.9. Adam made it in the Q3 last week, didn't he? I think that's Woods now on an outlap as well. Got to keep our eyes out for Woods. He is towards the bottom, in danger at the moment. Liam's going to be next up for McLaren to see what Liam can do. The championship leader. He's a 104.1, so he's a few, 6 tenths off the lead at the moment, Liam. As we see a Williams come into the pits, then we got, I think that's Bradfield. No, it's not. Oh, Bradfield's invalidated. And we got Haas almost still on the track. I think it's the car just getting out of the way. AlphaTauri Equals just went up to second with a 103.8. It's a great time there from Plotters on his, well, it's not his championship debut. He's reserved here before, but this is his first race as a full-time driver. We've got 2 cars racing each other on the straight. I think Sloth's just managed to pull away there from that other Haas of the Alpha Fox. The Alpha Fox did just set his lap as a 105.3, so he needs to pick it up at the moment. We'll have a little look back into the standings. We'll have a look at that battle towards the bottom of the track as well as the Parkter. There we go, Alfa Romeo 1-2 at the moment, 103.5 also from the Parkter. Good lap times from Alfa Romeo. You think they'll both be safe? Plotters has done a second lap, but he's not been able to improve. Yeah, towards the bottom we've got Woods on -5, Alpha Fox is on -3, Irish is obviously yet to score, being a new driver, as is Plotters, as is Vintage, and then Adams on 1, and then Theo on 6. He'll be happy now because he's been promoted a few places because of the new drivers coming in. But yeah, so it really is starting to intensify down there, and we see people get more desperate for points as the season goes on, as we're at the halfway mark now. And Sloth, one of the rivals, he's rivaling Weisheng. Weisheng goes fastest, and Sloth beats it by 9 thousandths, so they are the top 2. Yeah, Lepage obviously in third as well. Liam, we know Liam, his quality pace is not the best thing about him. Race quality, he's been absolutely incredible. He's been robbed of 2 wins as well, hasn't he? As twice he's been in the lead. I think Monaco and Spain, he was in the lead, gonna win the race, and then got disconnected. And we see Dylan got to P5 as well. Great effort there. He is one of the drivers looking to get promoted, isn't he? Dylan, I think Baz is going to be dropping out after next week though, as he's going back to work, other commitments. So there is a straight title fight between Dylan, young Tommy, and Menace Max, as it seems. So it looks like Dylan is going to be in a good place to get into this league full time next season, but still a long way to go. Might have a new driver come in that wins every race and takes it from all of them, you never know. Liam is going for a couple of laps. He normally does. Theo's 9th, Woods is 10th. Vintage, that's a great time from Vintage, 104.7, and he's coming to the pits now. Mate. And we've just seen Irish New Potatoes got to P3 then. Good debut lap from him. He's got the pace, hasn't he? He could be one that, if he gets a couple of decent podiums together, he could push towards the top as well. We know he's got brilliant pace. And we see Bev's got to P6 as well in the Ferrari. On top form himself lately as well. Jake Deslayer, he's definitely improved over the last few weeks in terms of pace as well. Yeah, Vintage, I've got to say, it's a great time. It's only 5 thousandths off Ayrton. It was only six months ago. He was about 8 seconds off the pace in this league in France. And now, yeah, last year in Austria he did a 107 in his quality time in this league. So yeah, he's 3 seconds quicker. And that's Austria, just the quickest track as well, so there's not much time to gain. And he's right in the mix there, Vintage. Loving that. Shanners just crosses the line to start his lap. Getting a bit wobbly there, but yeah, we'll go through Shanners' lap on board with him. Sloth was close, wonder if we'll see a 102. Oh yeah, it's possible, very possible. Yeah, this one will go down to 2 down here. That's it. You'll avoid that yellow sausage curb though, because that can send you spinning round. You see a few cars lose traction there and go flying into the wall. The Hamilton Albon instant aerialing. That's it. Swoop back in. Don't clip the curb. It clips the outside one. Good line there from Shadows. And this is an awkward one. You just want to swing in. That's it. Drop it in. Flip the apex. You have to back off low to hit the right apex and bring it back in left again. This is where place you can invalidate if you go a bit wide and go 4 wheels off, but he's mastered it. Shadows. This is about bottle, how much you're going to go for it. Or some drivers fling it right over that curve. Shadows went nowhere near it, and he stays away from the curbs towards the end. See what sort of time it's going to be from Shadows. It's a 104.4 down in P12 at the moment. Definitely not safe for that time, but he got a lap on the board, which some drivers haven't so far. And of course, Austria, so many invalidations. That's really important, just to get that first time on the board before the pressure starts to come in. Chaz is saying good luck to the championship, and if he does rubbish tomorrow it's because he's got traction off for the first time. So there we go, then watch out for a spin tomorrow. But Chazza, of course, has been incredible lately, isn't he? Chazza won in Monaco, didn't he? His pace has been incredible lately. It's good to see. He clearly wants to push himself even more, so he can constantly be challenging Denzo and Rick right at the top. And he's definitely got the ability to do it, and hopefully that'll work for him.
It's just a race starts I struggle on if I do no traction. I think I'm quicker without no traction, but
yeah,
race starts I can't.
Oh, I think Chazza made his debut in WNR last season in the championship at Austria. There we go, that's what I mean. Shadows flings it around that corner on top of the curb that time. He's really gone for it this lap, hasn't he, Shadows? And I'm sure we'll see his time improve, and we do by 3 tenths. There we go. Probably gained all that just in that final sector there. Really good. Shadows knew we had to find a bit of time, and that might be enough, but still got Bradfield, Farf, Jake and McKenty, 4 quick drivers yet to set a time. Jake the Slayer is on a lap. Let's see what he can do. It's a slow lap, so he's gone for an extra preparation lap, or he might have made a mistake. Bradfield, shut up, saying Farf. Yeah, I've said that many times. Yeah, Cryptic saying he watched Chazza crash 2 times that race. Which didn't go on too well in it then. Let's go Plotters, mate, saying young Tommy as well. He's cheering on Plotters. So yeah, a bit of a standstill at the moment. Most of the cars in the pits, just got a couple out on laps. Alpha Fox is going through the final sector. He is slightly up on his time, but I think he needs to find a bit more. He's not pushing it to the limit at the moment, is he? He's been a bit cautious, but he gained 2 tenths there, and that brings him into the mix. Still not in the 104s, which he needs to be at least by a couple of tenths. Yeah, Haas is not looking too good for Haas at the moment. They're both in trouble. Liam is going out again, so he feels he needs, or hopefully Alpha Fox got out of the way there for Vai Sheng. Jake the Slay goes up to P7 on his 3rd lap on those softs, and you think that would be enough to get him through. I'd say 103.7. I think you'll be alright. But anything below that, so Adam, it's a good lap from Adam. Got to Q3 last week for the first time this season. I don't think he's safe, and no, he doesn't think he's safe either, because he's going out again. He's a 10th down in sector 1. Oh, and he's hit that sausage curve, but he lost a good 10th at least there. Justin is really quiet, saying Theo. Yeah, he doesn't want to embarrass himself. Alpha Fox just on an in lap. Vintage behind him on an out lap. Red Bull of Vai Sheng, yeah, so he's gone out again. That is on the scrub tyres. We're just doing some practice on them. Won't be using them at any stage in the rest of this session. Alpha Fox comes into the pits. Vintage comes out to start his lap. He is in the danger zone at the moment, isn't he? I think Ayrton must have improved his time on the second run. He's now been wheeled back into the garage, as you can see. And McKenty's in the pits still. Bradfield's still in the pits. Surely they're going to put a couple of laps in worth of fuel. The only problem here is if you do that is if you invalidate on a final corner, you invalidate the next lap as well. But it is a short lap, so you can leave it later. Farf is now out on the track as well in the Ferrari. Yeah, looking good for Alfa Romeo at the moment, isn't it? Looking good for Mercedes, they're both, all four of those cars are in the top 7. Both Red Bulls in the top 10 as well. Sloth getting out of the way then. Sloth and Weisseng, the two you can say are absolutely definitely safe. So yeah, good lap from Favre, only an out lap, he's really been pushing it. Number 15 in the Ferrari. I think we've got, let's see what Weisseng does. He goes up to P1, his third lap on those tyres. Sloth's done 5 laps on his, he's just invalidated though. 103.08, yeah, we're definitely going to see 102, I'm sure of it. I can't remember who said it in the comments, but I think we'll just get into the 102s when we come to Q3. Weisseng and Sloth, obviously the two clear favourites to do that. They are the quali masters, and they're not so bad in the race either, are they? Favre's a 15.8 in Sector 1, he's now going through Sector 2. Yeah, really neat there. He turned in a bit earlier to avoid that curb on the left. Some drivers turning early, some drivers turning later there. Yeah, it's good list from Favre. It's a good lap. Park has retired. He's happy with his time. How much does Favre push it through here? He swings in early. What? And there we go. It's a really neat lap from Favre. Can't get much of a toe from the car in front. It's a 103.3. There we go. He said it was good. He's only a couple of attempts away from the top runners. Third place there for Favre, and he's safely through into Q2. Next, we're going to have... Oh, did Vintage improve? Vintage did improve. Look at that from Vintage. 104.1. He's just off Liam. Liam, who's now come in the pits. So Liam's in trouble. He's going to need to come out on a fresh set of softs, I think, to get through. But a quarter of a tenth Vintage is off Liam. He's ahead of Theo, ahead of Ayrton, ahead of the Alpha Fox. Bradfield and McKenty in trouble at the moment. McKenty's now starting his, well, first attempt, I think. Favre just on an in lap. Equaz is up to P4. He's just done a 103.4, so that's Equaz safety through. The Park thinks he's safety through, so I presume the top 5 will be 2. And yeah, I think all of the top 10 are. Not sure if this is Dylan. Yeah, Dylan's now coming in. I think the top 10 will be alright. Adams 50-50 there, but the Renault driver's definitely not safety through. Neither's Liam. But I'm sure Liam's got more time in the bag. Definitely, I think Shadders will have as well. The Alpha Fox is down on his time, so he's not finding much time at the moment. He's going to need to find about second as well to get if he's to get through to Q2. Bradfield now an outlap. Let's see what McKenzie can do. He's going through Sector 3 into the right hand. Yeah, he went over the curb there. Oh, he's going to invalidate. He's going to invalidate. You see it happening, turning too early, and that'll be Listen next is invalidated too, so he's going to have to go round again, and hopefully he's got enough fuel in the car to do a couple of laps, because he could be in trouble. McKenty, he's not had a great run of it the last few weeks, has he? He retired last week, and I think he's only got a couple of points out of the last 4 races, but he's still in the top 10, I think, in the standings, because he had a great start to the season. And of course McLaren's still P1 the constructors, because Liam has been picking up some brilliant points alongside McKenty's. Bradfield on his lap then, he gets further than he did on his first attempt. As Liam gets out of the way. Yeah, Liam is back out on the track, and these are on best, aren't they? Let's look at fitted. So yeah, Liam is on fresh soft circ. He's had to use a second set just to get through. Weisseng's retired in the pits. He's happy with his time. I think I'd be happy with that time as well. In fact, I wouldn't be in belief of it. Adam and Liam both on outlaps then on fresh softs. Adam definitely doesn't think he's safe. He's had to go out on fresh softs. We're about to see a Haas cross the line. It's going to be Alpha Fox. He's a 10th down his time. He's pushed it a bit more through that final corner, so he might have gained some time there. He crosses the line, and he does gain time for that final corner. He did push it, but it's still not going to be enough for the Alpha Fox, and he's slowed down as well. I think he's out of fuel, and he could be out here. I think the Alpha Fox is Adam on his outlap now crosses the line to start, as does Liam, and Liam's down to the drop zone now because Bradfield went up to P11. So Liam in trouble, and Theo improved as well. Theo's a thousandth off Shadders, splits the Renault. So at the moment Liam's going out. Vintage is in 17th, Ayrton 18th, Alpha Fox 19th, and McKenty down in 20th. He's in the pits as well. Don't forget, we're about 50 seconds ahead, so the timer is probably now on 1 minute 30 odd. So he might still have time, McKenty, if he can get out straight away to set one more lap. Jake the Slayer's retired then. He's happy with his time. Yeah, top 10 are going to be safe. Alpha Fox is down. I don't know if he's just doing a saving up lap, or if he's low on fuel and coming out, going to be out. Vintage is in the pits. I think Vintage is done, and McKenty's literally now going out, so he might have enough time if he can race around as quickly as he can. He's got Ayrton in front of him though. Dylan's retired. Alpha Fox is now in the pits, so he's going to be out of the session. Yeah, Vintage is still in the pits too, so he's going to be out. But what a time that is for Vintage. 104.1, right in the mix. As Liam goes up to P8 then, so that is Liam safely through. Bradfield gives us up. Oh, he's invalidated, isn't he? Adam's invalidated too, so Bradfield and Adam are done. Shadows has just started a lap, so he's looking to improve. Theo is, I think he's out of fuel, so I don't think Theo's going to be improving anymore. Woods is in 16th, he's just started a lap low. Both Hasses are going to be out. I wonder if McKenty's going to make it. What's the timer on for you?
7 seconds.
7 seconds. McKenty's not going to make it, is he? If it's on 7 seconds. We'll see the checker flags pop up on the side in a second. And McKenty, no, he's not made it. McKenty's going to start last. It might not be the worst thing for him. He can crawl, he can start at the back, take his time, work his way through the field. The Haas team is going to be 18th and 19th. Woods in 17th at the moment, looking to improve. Theo's in the pit, so Theo's out. And Shadders, he's up, I think, on his time. We're going board with Shadders first. Ayrton's finished. Ayrton has not set a quicker lap, so he's in 14th. He's in danger if both Renault can improve. Shadders is slightly up on his time as he comes through the final corner. He gets a lot of time, I think, through here. Let's see, can he get ahead of Ayrton? Yes, he can. So it's all between Woods and Ayrton. And Woods has lost it at the final corner. He was up as well, I think. And he's just lost it at the final corner. I'm not quite sure what's happened there to Woods. But Woods had a chance to knock Ayrton out there. But Woods is going to be out himself. Ayrton makes it through instead of Theo by 12 hundredths of a second. And yeah, we were right in the end, weren't we? Top 10. Dylan comfortably safe by about 4 tenths. But yes, really, really fine margins there between Ayrton and Theo. And you will see a more close grid just because it is such a short lap. So about a second between 1.1 between first and 18th. But it's such a short lap, so there's not much time to find. Lost so much time trying to link Twitch again, so McKenty. Oh, so I think he's having problems connecting his stream. Justin is really quiet. Cryptic saying he hasn't had too much to drink yet, Theo, so he's not as rowdy. What kind of Bradfield is racing today? I think he nearly downed that chucky bottle already. What have you had to drink today? Well, there you go. He's that out of his face. He can't even hear us. Bradfield under pressure now, saying Mushroom, and PB saying Vintage. So it's a personal best time for him. And yeah, I think he should be really, really happy with that time because he's back in the championship now, full time, as we said earlier, so he can focus on his admin duties for League One instead of racing in it. And he absolutely deserves to be racing in this league because look how close he is. He's less than a tenth for getting through the Q2 here. And hopefully racing with these quality drivers we've got in here will help make him even better. So you've got 3 Irish and 2 Brits out in Q1. You back, are you?
Yeah, so I had to go for a whiz.
It's all a drink, isn't it? What have you drunk?
Whiskey at the night.
How much?
Half a bottle nearly.
There you go.
Time's a bit slow, I think.
I have to add a new rule. Double penalties for drink driving.
I won't be doing it next week though, because I've got to work early. So.
Yeah, it's a crazy. Bill won the league one race. Did you watch that?
Watch a little bit of it.
Yeah, obviously Bill won.
How did he win that?
He's starting down in P16. He's got great pace, isn't he? But yeah, he showed that in the championship the last few weeks in qualifying. Unfortunately, couldn't turn it into results, and he kept getting kicked from the session. So I'm not sure if he was lucky with his connection today. But yeah, P16 to P1. You know, we've got Irish, I think, is going to be first out. He's on the softs. Now, when I've raced with Irish before, he usually goes out on his scrub tyres, on his scrub softs in Q2 to do a slower lap, and then goes on to the mediums. This is a track, soft medium, more than doable, easily enough. You see some people go for a different strategy. Some people like the Haas as a race tyre here. Yeah, soft mediums, you're more than capable of doing that. How many litres saying serious mushroom? Theo on the Red Bull.
Theo, mate, be careful, mate. Killer that old Red Bull.
Yeah, kill him a can of that. Yeah, so Irish out the lap. Yeah, lots of cars are on the softs. More and more drivers now do go for a lap on the scrub softs at the beginning of Q2 because you only get one set of mediums. You want to save them for when the track's at its best, which is going to be towards the end of the session. But of course, it's so hard, patience-wise, just sitting there doing nothing for about 10 minutes. So to keep your track practice going, keep the track in your mind. Yeah, that's why a lot of drivers do this. I don't know, some of them might actually be going out on a fresh soft to try and set lead time. You never know. Yeah, we've got good 6 or 7 drivers out on the track. Irish is going to be the first one. 16.4 is sector 1 time, which is a good few tenths of what you'd expect. And he's what Bobby there. I think he's on the scrubs, definitely. On the monster, saying Theo. Yeah, a couple of cans of that'll knock you out, mate. That will. Shadows on the lap. Yeah, 16.9 for him
mate.
as well. Again, that's quite slow. Slower than what you'd expect. Yeah, he's going to stay out Irish to complete the lap. Let's see what time it's going to be. Yeah, he's slow. His back's right off because he doesn't want to start on these tyres. And I don't blame him. There you go, 107.3. And then we see Potter's going to start his lap on soft tyres as well. Alpha Tauri of Bradfield across the line. Are you on the scrubs as well?
Oh yeah.
He is, yeah. Shadows, I think he is too. He crosses the line, 107.8. Adam, he's gone on the mediums, Adam, already. There we go, he's 104.7 on the medium. Now, the thing is, because tyre wear is not so bad around here, Liam's the 104.4, some drivers might just do 2 runs on the mediums. Or some might do the mediums first, and then go for the softs at the end to start on them. This is definitely a track I'd rather be at the front of the grid, because it's just so hard to pass. It's a constant DRS train, such a short track, and 3 DRS zones on the straight. Out of turn 1, and here out of turn 2 is the third one. He equals his P4. I think he's done an extra preparation lap on those mediums. Might get a bit of a toe from the Ferrari in front if he's lucky, as Plotters does a 103.5 P1 on the softs. That'll be him, well, going for the softs, isn't he? You'd think that'd be enough if there's going to be cars going for the mediums, as Bradfield does a 104.2. He's going to struggle to beat that. He's really going to struggle to beat that on mediums. It's 2 tenths quicker than Liam's medium time. Oh, he's going on the softs, there you go. So he's going to put fresh softs on to improve on that. As we see, Racing Point, I think that's Dylan is back across the line, and yeah, he's done the same thing. Going for a slow lap, 105.6. So yeah, only 3 real competitive times at the moment, because Bradfield's scrub run's actually quicker than the 2 mediums. Surprised he didn't slow down even more towards the end. Weisheng on a lap on the mediums. He's just started it though. Avatari of Equos goes up to P4. There we go, he slots in between Liam and Adam. Just over a tenth ahead of Adam. There we go, he's gone to the grass. Presume there's a car that wants to get past. Here it is, and it's Farf. Farf in P10. 16.2 for his sector 1. Here's that yellow curve as well. Yeah, not great. Sector 1 will start sector 2 from Farf. Keep our eyes on Weisheng as he's going through sector 2. Whiskey clouded his judgment, saying serious mushroom. Forgot to pull out. He's on a lap, Justin? No, he's not. He's sat in the pits. He's probably necking it down now. Farf on the softs. Who's next? Where's Weisheng? There we go. We're watching Weisheng. Yeah, this is going to be genuine time as well. It's a 103.6. So he's slower than Plotters, but of course he's on the medium tyres, Weisheng. And that might be good enough to get him through. You'd expect Weisheng to get through. Next we have Farf. And again, he's slowing down. So yeah, he's on the scrubs. Slots into that P8 with a 106.6. Mercedes of Irish. Yeah, he's on an outlap. There we go. He's on the mediums now, as you'd expect. Sloth on an outlap. He's on the mediums already. Then we have the Parker. He's actually on a lap through sector 2, so we'll keep our eyes on this. Haven't seen too many cars invalidate when I've been on board with them yet, have we? Which I'm quite surprised about.
No, right so far.
You'll see the penalties rack up in a race, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
pushing it hard as well. Maybe Q3 when they're absolutely going for it, you'll see a couple more. The parked on the mediums is a 104.3, so he's ahead of Liam. That could be important. Head of Equals as well, head of Adam. Yeah, good lap there, I think that is. Still 7 tenths off Weisheng, but Weisheng's just something else, isn't he? And so Sloth as well, they tend to be the top 2 in terms of quali. Yeah, not standings though, because Liam's obviously top, isn't he? Yeah, when it comes to podiums, not podiums, pole position, Liam's had 3, Sloth's had 3, Weisheng's had 3. So far, I'm not sure if last week's been added, but yeah, the only 3 drivers that have had pole. So yeah, Liam's quali pace, he's definitely got it yeah, 2 of the races Liam has got a pole position. No other 2 races he was about to win until he got disconnected. Yeah, Sloth's lap again is a slow lap, so I think he's just been preparing for a second lap. It takes extra time to warm the tyres up round here because it is such a short lap and there's only 9 turns. Yeah, in terms of wins this season, Weisheng's won 4 races, Liam's won 3, Sloth's won 2, the Parker's won 1. So it is only those top 4 drivers that have won races even, and they're just absolutely dominating at the moment. It takes something out of the ordinary to beat those top 4, but there's so many drivers here that are capable of doing it. A track like Austria, where it's easy to stay within touch of cars in front, it's very possible. Usually see instance in Austria as well, don't we?
Yeah,
real life and on this game, so. And of course penalties as well towards the end could have a real say in it. Shadow's just gone up to P7 on the medium tyres. We're looking up fitted at the moment, so on the best, yeah, so only Plotters that's gone for a genuine lap on the softs. Irish now goes up to P5 on the medium, so he's ahead of Liam, just behind the Parker. Sloth is a 103.8 there, Weisheng and Sloth. When it comes to qualifying at the moment, they just seem to be a good few tenths clear of the rest of the pack. Great lap there, that is. Jake the Slayer on an outlap. But DC Bev's invalidating sector 1 on the medium tyres. I think that's his 2nd lap on them as well. Farf's now on the outlap on the mediums. Yeah, 5.5 minutes left. Getting down to the business end now this session. Yeah, that is some medium time from Weisheng. It's absolutely incredible. Great time that is from Weisheng. Take nothing away from that. Sloth only a couple of tenths off too. And I'm really hoping to see a time in the 102s from Weisheng, possibly even Sloth in Q3. Bevs comes into the pit, Jake the Slayer on his lap then. Yeah, Jake the Slayer's the only car actually on a lap I think at the moment, unless is Liam out again going for another one? No, he's invalidated if he is. Irish coming to the pits, so yeah, we'll keep our eyes on Jake the Slayer. He's just invalidated. He went too wide. You want to go wide there to swoop in, but if you go 4 wheels off again, that'll just snap away that lap. Jake the Slayer, he's on soft tyres as well, so he's going to come in. He'll probably put another set of fresh softs on, because of course you're going to start on these tyres if you go through. So put another fresh set of softs on, and you have to use those scrubs, I think, in Q3 if he gets there for one of his runs. And he's got to wait now even more because his teammate's just been wheeled into the garage. Weisheng, Sloth and Farf have a 102 in them. Saying serious mushroom, so he thinks Farf could potentially do it as well. Yeah, Farf's let's have a look at Farf actually. He's on the mediums. He was 3rd, wasn't he, in Q1 at one point. It was only a couple of attempts off. Yeah, I did forget about that. And of course, podium last week from Farf. So it's looking good for him. Let's see what he can do in the mediums. This will give us a real eye-opener into what sort of time he can do. And look at that. He does go 3 tenths quicker than the Parker and Irish. 4 tenths quicker than Liam. He's only a 1/10.5 off Sloth. So yeah, he's looking good for 3rd at the moment, isn't he? And when the pressure's on in Q3, anything can happen. He'll be right there to pounce if the top two slip up. Yeah, good call out from Mushroom. And Dylan goes into P5, 2,000 quicker than Bradfield. But again, Dylan on the mediums, quicker than the Parkter, Irish, and Liam.
Do you know what? I don't know whether
Great lap from Dylan. I don't.
I think I can do it.
You think you're quicker than Liam, Irish, and the Parkter, do you? It's up to you. But the risk, it's a huge risk. And the risk is if you do get through on those scrub softs, you're then starting on scrub softs.
I'm going to go for softs.
He's going to go for it. There you go. Talk you out of it. As we've just seen, Equal's got to P1. He's done a lap on softs as well, so he's going to be starting those soft tyres. If he gets through, you'd expect the top two to get through, wouldn't you? Unless everyone goes to the softs. But yeah, if more people go for that, they'll push the medium runners down, won't it? And put them in danger. Jake Deslay's on out lap on the softs. Bev's on the softs as well. We'll have a look at fitted now. So yeah, look at this. Ayrton and Adam are ready in the softs in the garage. 2.5 minutes left of session. Shadows, I think, will do the same. Liam's now going to start a lap on the soft tyres as well. In a McLaren. Irish has the softs at the ready too. The Parkter's going out again on the medium, so he could be in danger here. He does go out in Q2 quite a few times though. He has done this season anyway. I don't think he minds starting lower down. I think he much prefers starting on the mediums. He has the pace to be up there, and yeah, Bradfield, as you can see on those fresh soft tyres. So yeah, I think Dylan could be in danger in P6 there on those mediums, with the amount of drivers going for the softs. Sloth and Farf could even be in danger. But the Park just started his lap. He might even improve and go ahead of them too. He's on a second lap. Oh, he's got it wrong out of turn 1 though, and now Ayrton's in his way. Oh, he's had to back off. It's a difficult one there because the Parks have got some wheel spin that's put him onto the right side of the track. But Ayrton, of course, was coming out the pits, so he was trying to get away. Difficult one that. Liam's back across the line already. Up to P4, so he's slower than Vice Sheng's medium time on the softs there, Liam. But again, it pushes Sloth down. We said Sloth and Farf could be in danger, and they really could be. Bevs goes up to P5. Adams retired in the pits, so I'm not quite sure why Adams, maybe he's left it too late. But yeah, Bev's gone up to P6 now. Sloth is on an outlap on the soft, so he feels he's got to do that to cover himself off. But Farf and Dylan sat in the pits. They are in real danger. Bradfield's up on the softs. Jake Deslay goes up the P on 103.2 from Jake Deslay. A really good time. Really good time. Be interesting to see him in Q3. Pushed his Sloth down to 7th. Farf and Dylan 8th and 9th. Bradfield's up. Irish is now going through turn 1. Shadows is going to start a lap 2. Ayrton's just started one as well. Yeah, not quite sure why Adam retired in the pits. The Parkter didn't improve, I don't think, did he? There we go. Oh, of course he didn't know because he backed off about this time last lap, but he's going for one now, and his exit from turn 1 was much better. Would rather start on new mediums than old soft, saying Adam. Don't blame him. Oh, he's got a bit wobbly there though. Went hella wide in the last corner, got 3/10 saying Sloth. Yeah, Sloth's gonna have to go for this lap, isn't he? Yeah, Dylan Farf 9th and 10th, they're in real danger. Bradfield went up to P4, so he's ahead of Vice Sheng. Liam's retired, he's happy, but he can't do much more anyway, can he? And we have got checkered flag then, so Bevs is done as well. Yeah, top 3 are safety through, top 4. Who's going to be first across the line? It's going to be Mercedes of Irish. What can Irish do? He's up to P2. Mercedes 1-2 pushes Dylan out then, unfortunately. Ayrton's going to be next. Let's see what time Ayrton can do. He crosses the line. He's up to 11th. He's going to be out alongside Dylan. Alfa Romeo next. The Park, look, he can't improve. Down in P13. It's all on Shadows now then to knock out Farf. Can he do it? Yes, he can. 5 thousandths of a second. And the Serious Mushroom said, be interesting to see if Farf could get into the Sloth. I don't know if Sloth can hear us, but he can back off now, and he does. So he's going to stick to his mediums. See, it's only Sloth and Vice Sheng that got through on the mediums in the end. So if they do get P1 and P2, they'll be under big pressure at the start of the race. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, Farf, the Serious Mushroom said, could be challenging to get in the 102s. He's not even in Q3 because he was clearly the 3rd quickest and stuck with the mediums, but missed out by 5 thousandths. but starting P11 on fresh mediums, I think Farf's in a really good place there as well, especially when the two runners on the mediums, Sloth and Weisscheng, are going to be slower at the start with the pack behind them. So yeah, definitely don't rule Farf out of a really good result in this race. DT Bevs is set to impress once more in today's race. He's in Q3, so sure you'll be happy to see him in that, JD. And Jeffsy as well. That was unlucky. Farf, it was really unlucky. 5 thousandths. Yeah. Farf could be out a serious mushroom. Saw it coming, didn't he? Tiny margins as well though, wasn't it? Yeah, Lepart did only 14th. But again, fresh mediums.
Yeah, he seems
is
to
a
be
lot
better in
better.
racing now in the racing he has quality, doesn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, good. Mercedes 1 and 2. Of course, they were on the soft tyres, but great lap time, especially there from Jake the Slayer, 103.2. And
yeah, be careful, Irish, mate.
yeah, I think that's just as quick as Sloth's soft time in Q1. I don't know if he's absolutely pushing it or not, but definitely watch out for Jake the Slayer for challenging the top 2. Although if you're going to beat Weisscheng and Sloth, it's going to take something really special.
That really is.
Sam Drew saying, "Come on, England. Come on, you Bevs." DT Bevs' fan club is back. So yeah, let's have a look at the teams. We've got both AlphaTauri and both Equals has retired in the pits. I think he has a Q3 ban. I just remembered, yeah, he does. Does have a Q3 ban, I remember, for an instant last week. I'm not quite sure what it involved, but he remembered that. Get our telemetry and lap data on. So yeah, he's going to be starting down in 10th. A few cars are keen to get out already. And the first one of them is going to be the Red Bull of Weisscheng. There we go. We'll watch him, as we said, both AlphaTauri and both Mercedes through the Q3 at the expense of Haas drivers who both went out in Q1. And then, what's the other team that haven't got any cars through? It is Racing Point. Yeah, Racing Point. Evan Dillon, I think he went out, didn't he? After sticking to those mediums. He went out in Q2, and then Theo went out in Q1. Yeah, Sandrew, we love you too. Loving it. There is DT Bevs, look, the man himself. Very, very famous he is in that Ferrari. Stripes on his helmet as well. Weisscheng, here he goes then. Can he get into the 102s? This is the question everyone will be wanting to be answered. It'll be answered within 1 minute and 3 seconds. His first run, we'll go on board with him. Oh, he's sliding out of turn 1. He's managed to keep it together though. Might have lost a bit of time there and some pace down this straight. Cryptic Alibi missing out on Q3, saying Jeffsy. Yeah, Cryptic Alibi is not racing, so that's probably why he's not in Q3. He's got Dylan reserving for him today, I think, starting down in 12th or 13th. Weisscheng, oh, he really took a lot of curb. Oh, he's lucky not to invalidate there, Weisscheng. Nearly went 4 wheels off. But it just shows the limits he's pushing it to, and this is why he gets such unbelievable times. Look how close he is to going 4 wheels off at every corner. He pushes it to the absolute limit. He doesn't back out of anything. And he makes it work. Look at that. Absolutely flying through. The pace he's got is unbelievable. Oh, he's gone wide. That's it. He's invalidated. It was only a 103.2 anyway, but Weisscheng invalidated his time. Invalidated Lissa next as well, so he won't be able to set another time now. Irish does a 103.6, which is a couple of attempts shy of what to expect. Bradfield now starting the lap. Shadders is going to be first one to actually set a lap then if he can get through the final corner, and he does. Second one to set a lap, sorry. He does a 104.1, so he's a bit off the pace there. Plotters is going to be next. He goes up to P1 for 103.4, and DT Bevs, to see what Bevs can do. He's getting quite wide onto the grass. P2 for Bevs, just off Plotters, and the Williams of Sloth Just a 103.1. So there we go. He's not quite in the 102s, and that time's definitely beatable by some of these drivers. But yeah, Weisseng invalidated. That's the early headlines. The Sloths in the lead at the moment. We're going to see Liam. Liam's invalidated his time. So yeah, as they go for it, absolutely push it in Q3 now. We did say we'll start to see some more invalidations. Bradfield is going to be next to set a lap. Good evening, Gio. Plotters makes it look easy. Yeah, Plotters doing really well, and Bradfield invalidates his time. Yeah, wait, is it Listen next? Well, he's backed off anyway. It was Listen next, he invalidated. So Weisseng, well, he's going for another run now. He's saved up. He must have put enough fuel in to do this. And he was purple through sector 1 as well. Jake the Slayer on that lap. Liam is going again as well. He's just in front of Weisseng, so we're going to watch Liam. That's a rubbish camera view. That is a much better one. The orange and blue McLaren. There he is. Thought his car was never going to come around that corner then. Yeah, still only 5 drivers to actually set a time. And Weisseng was close to invalidating again. No, he hasn't though. He's okay. Liam goes through the final corner then. Second run on these tyres to see what Liam can do. It's a P5 for Liam. Weisseng goes up to... He does it. His third lap on those tyres. Weisseng does a 102.95. Absolutely incredible. What a time. And that is really, really going to take some beating. Bradfield's coming into the pits and he's out of fuel, invalidates time. Himself and Jake the Slayer yet to set a time, but Jake is now, or he's running wide there. But he's okay, he's managed to recover it. He's going to have to go flat out if he wants to get anywhere near the top 2 though, Jake. And he's lucky not to invalidate, but he's pushing it to the limit through sector 3. Let's see what Jake the Slayer can do. It's a 103.4. It's P5, he's coming on the 3rd row with his Mercedes teammate Irish. Liam's on in lap. Sloth has invalidated this time, so he's going to, yeah, he's out of fuel as well, so he'll have to come in the pits. Weisseng's out of fuel too, so he's going to be coming in the pits. So that is it for the first runs then. Equals, of course, has a Q3 ban, so he's not set a time. Bradfield, his teammate down in P9 as well, he invalidated his lap. Shadders is in 8th. Liam, and yeah, he's a good few temps off as well, Shadders. I think he might have made a mistake on his lap, although he's already out on an out lap. Liam in 7th, 103.7. A 10th and half off Irish in 6th, he's on an out lap already. Jake the Slayer in P5, he's invalidated this lap, so he might have been going for another one. He's still got fuel on board, so he might have time to go for one more. Well, there's only 5.5 minutes left. Bev's in 4th, good lap from Bev's. Plotter's in 3rd as well, on his full championship debut. Good lap from them. Sloth in 2nd, and a couple of attempts off Weisseng, and as expected, they are the top 2 in that order. It's a fudging lap, sat in serious mushroom. It's an incredible lap. His 3rd lap on those tyres as well from Weisseng. I think he's got even more pace than that. That's the mad thing.
Get him in Prem.
He doesn't win every race. His races he's not won. He's not pulling away in any races by any stretch. So you see Weisseng and Sloth almost always the top 2 now in qualifying, but it's not always like that in the race, as Liam and the Parks have shown. And Irish, I think he's just going for an extra, well, walk in the park, I don't know. I think he's going for an extra preparation lap here, Irish. Obviously he's got something wrong with that car. Shadders his lap then, let's have a look. He's going through sector 2, he's slightly up. He's going to need to find a lot more time though, Shadders. Yeah, he's coming in the pit, Shadders. He weren't going to gain too much time on that lap, was he? Yeah, Irish is the only car out on the track, and he's not even on a lap at the moment. Now, we spoke about the standards, we spoke about the pole positions and podium stats. Let's have a look then. So, who's going to be the nearest challengers for the top 3? He came 3rd in China. Shadders came 4th in China as well. Mackenzie was 4th in Vietnam, so they're ones to be watching out for. Obviously, Farf came 3rd last week, didn't he? in Brazil. Bevs has come second in China. So they might be the names that might be challenging the top drivers if you are to see a change in who gets the podium, who gets the win. They might be the ones to watch out for. Irish now on a quick lap, isn't he? So, yeah, you might see that some drivers going out a lap early because you saw obviously Weisheng setting his quickest time on a third run. They sometimes do just need an extra lap to warm up those tyres because it is such a quick lap. The quickest, of course, excluding all the short tracks. First lap was awful, saying Jake the Slayer. 1:03.49 was definitely not awful. It's a lot better than most people can do, but yeah, so for him, because it's a couple of attempts off his time he did in Q2, so I understand why he's frustrated that. His teammate Irish, New Potato, he's on a good lap here though. He's pushed it to the limits. He's about to cross the line. What can Irish do? It's a 1:03.3, and he gets up into P3. Great lap there from Irish. Jake the Slayer, his teammate, is now out on the track. I wonder if he's put 2 laps worth of fuel in that car. So Irish has now slowed down. I think that's going to be him done. I don't think he's going to. He definitely won't be able to come into the pits in time. His fuel gauge is flashing, and Crazy Bill's joined. I'm not quite sure why he's joined. He's not racing. I think someone must have sent him an invite. Not quite sure who, but well, he can sit and spectate, I suppose. Yeah, he won a League One race, didn't he? There we go, see a couple of cars starting to come out now. I think most of them are just going to be going for 1 run. Apart from Jake, I think he'll be going for 2 runs. He's done this a few times before and I don't blame him. We'll watch Jake the Slayer then. Definitely expect a few more temps out of Jake the Slayer, or at least a couple of more temps. He'll be wanting to go up to P3 here. I think Sloth will be a big challenge for Jake the Slayer to get ahead of. He's down in Sector 1 though. He's down in Sector 1. Of course, all there is to Sector 1 really is Turn 1, so it doesn't count for much. Neither does this straight either in Sector 2. He's got a bit of traffic ahead though, Jake the Slayer, have to navigate his way through that. I think that is an Alpha Tauri in front. It is Bradfield. He's going to have to get out of the way, and he does.
Oh, it's tempting.
3 thousandths up Jake the Slayer. So he's not improving by much. I'm not quite sure if it's because he's got an extra lap of fuel on board or because they're quicker on their second run, and he's invalidated there, absolutely. Well, he's going to invalidate next lap if he ain't careful. He has invalidated next lap. So Jake the Slayer is not going to improve. Down in P6, he will not be happy with that. Absolutely not. He's not going to improve anymore. Shad is on outlap. He's next across the line. Sloth then on outlap 2. Next up is Liam. And coming out of Sector 2, he's 2.5 temps up. So it looks like he could get ahead of Jake the Slayer here. He could really push up towards that battle for P3. And he'd love that, wouldn't he? Starting right behind Liam and Sloth on the soft tyres as well. Let's see what Liam can do. DRS is open. And he goes up to P5. Close to that P3, but decent lap there from Liam. Anyway. And he's slowed down, so he's not going for another lap. Plotters is down this time. Irish course in the pits. He's really pushed it again though through the final couple of corners to see what Plotters can do. He doesn't improve. Stays P4 behind Irish. Of course, Mercedes are Jake the Slayer invalidated, but then got Bradfield. And he's got DT Bevs right behind him. I'm not quite sure. That's not going to help. Bevs, but Bradfield, let's see what sort of time he can do. He crosses the line. Only 8 for Bradfield and only 6 for Bevs. None of them could really improve. Liam's on a slow lap. Only Shadder's left. He's 4 temps up and he needs that time as well. I think Weisheng's on a lap anyway. And Sloth, of course, but Shadder's crosses the line. He gets ahead of Bradfield. It's a not good session for Alpha Tauri. Sloth takes pole position with a 1:02.7. Weisheng is nearly 2 temps up though. Can he get him? I think he might get him here even more. Oh, he's wide out. Always a little bit wide coming to the final corner. Weisheng crosses the line. 1:02.8. Sloth takes pole position. Wow. Didn't expect that to come. Sloth couldn't even get in the 1:02s all session. He was saving it right for the end. Smashes it for 1:02.7. Sloth on pole position. pips Weisheng to it. And Irish, of course, P3. Brilliant effort from Irish. Yeah, there we go. Not a great session for AlphaTauri. Bradfield nowhere near the pace. I know Austria's not his favourite track. Close for P4, the battle between P4. Less than half a tenth between Plotters, Liam, DT Bevs and Jake Slayer. Irish is, you've got to watch out for Irish here. I know there's a big gap between the top two and the rest, but Weisheng and Sloth, of course, are starting on the mediums. So at the start of the race, all the cars behind are going to be on the softs, and Irish is obviously going to lead that pack. So he could really put a challenge to Sloth and Weisheng early on. And yeah, of course, Plotter's in third as well. If Irish gets a poor start, it's up to him. And he can't rule Liam out. I'm sure Liam would be a bit disappointed how he's 3,000th off Plotters. Really unlucky there for him. Yeah, this is going to be good, saying Serious Mushroom. And he's taken the words right from my mouth. Sloth just killed it, absolutely. GG Sheng, no, you can do better, saying Sloth. So he thinks he's lucky to have that pole position, but it's a quality lap, fully deserved there from Sloth. Although it was Weisheng ahead of Sloth the whole session, but the one time Sloth was in front was the one time where it mattered. My race is over. Needed P3. Saying for no, you can't be saying your race is over before it's even started. You can't say that. McKenty down in P20. I'm sure he won't be saying that. Premier League last year in Austria. I know we say it's a difficult place to start from the back. Premier League in Austria last year. Cowie started in 20th after having a quali ban. He won the race, and that's the Premier League. So I wouldn't be saying your race is over from starting in 7th or 6th, wherever it is. Good luck to everyone. This should be a great race. Just waiting on Adam. There he goes. He's ready. Let's have a look.
God, I've got Jake Slayer in front of me.
Right, no one has gone for the hard tyres, as I'd expect. Yeah, so we already said the top 10, it's just Sloth and Weisheng on the mediums, rest on the softs. Bottom 10, we've got McKenty on the softs, Woods and Theo on the softs as well. So they're going to go aggressive at the start. The other 7, the bottom 10, all going for the mediums. And of course, they'll be quicker on their second stint at the end of the race on the softs. You'd expect it to be a one-stop, soft-medium or medium-soft anyway. Of course, if there's a safety car at some point in the race, it might change. If there's a safety car, as early as lap 4 or 5, people might feel they can go to hards to the end. My car is driving itself, saying Equaz. So yeah, he's just left the session. We have this. I don't know why this game does this. Crazy why it does it, but Equaz has left. I'm sure he's got a couple of spare invites, so he's going to be rejoining. Bradfield might have to help his teammate out here. Starting on the same row as him on the 5th row. My man Mushroom saying time splitter in the comments. I'm sure he'll be watching Sully and Konal tomorrow. And there we go, Equaz has rejoined back. Oh, Williams getting close to the back of Farf there, Ayrton. What a quick lap that is. Ayrton's been disqualified. There we go. His teammate Sloth has done a very quick outlap. Well, I don't know if it's quick pace from him or just because it is such a short lap. Equaz has ultimate assist on, just sit and watch mode. Good luck everyone, let's get it. Plotters mate, saying young Tommy. Big fan of Plotters then, isn't he? Let's see the cars lining up on the grid then. McKenty's making them wait at the back. There we go, see him rolling up now. Front runners won't be happy with that. And we have lights, but we don't have cars revving up. I don't know why it's changed.
Take P9 from here.
Now the cars are revving up, as you can hear. And now we have lights out, and away we go. It's a good start from Weisheng. He's got Sloth already. Down the inside, before the braking zone. Weisheng takes the lead of the race, straight back from Sloth. And there's contact. As the AlphaTauri's spinning. He's got to be careful there. Shadows is up into 5th. Liam down to 6th already, side by side with Loreno though. McKenty's down the bottom. I think Dylan's falling down as well. Farf down to P14. There's a few cars going really slowly towards the back, and there's contact between that Ferrari and Mercedes. There's safety car. We have a safety car.
I got winged No.
There's no car off the track. There's no car out of the race. There's no one miles back. So I really don't know why we've got a safety car. No one even.
Teammate. I don't know what happened there.
He's in. No one's even gone off. I don't know why there's a safety car for that. Let's have a look at the position change. If there's any huge. Oh, Equaz has left again. But no one's even lost a huge amount of place. Adam's dropped a 4 back. Alpha Fox has gained 5. So's Theo. Great starts for them. The Park has gained 4. Apart from 5 positions, no one else has really changed. I'm not quite sure.
My car was on the side, but
the Park just got wing damage. I'm not quite sure why we have a safety car then. But we do. Helps a couple of cars with wing damage. It allows them to come into the pits. The Park is one of them. Theo's one of them as well. So he's gained 5 places, but he's now coming into the pits. Be a great start from Weisheng, and Sloth poor off the line. Unfortunately for him, I presume, well, he might be going hard tyres to the end. I'm not quite sure, maybe because your car was on the side, as you said. No, Theo has got wing damage, he's having to change that. Who else? Adam, McKenty and Vintage all in the pits as well. Yes, a nose change as well. If I was starting last, I'd literally just hang back. You obviously got a penalty for something, whilst nothing's going on. I'll check the instance. Jay Bradfield, 5-cent penalty. Severe collision with Theo. You must have made contact with Theo somewhere. You say you do nothing wrong a lot, and most of the time it's your fault. You've caught you. You're not looking. Equaz joins back, and yeah, so AlphaTauri has switched positions. Equaz has been. I don't think he's been in control of his car, and he's actually gained a spot. Yeah, this will help. This will. Oh, Shadow's glitching a bit there. Yeah, this will definitely help. The people that started on the old softs, because that'll drag them out, and a soft medium's going to be easy for them now. You'd think anyway. Depends on how much they're pushing through racing. But yeah, still got 20 cars in this race. I'm really surprised we saw a safety car for something. I don't really know what happened yet. But sure, we'll find out at the end of the race. Bradfield nearly flying the back of his teammate. Got to keep a distance, as every other car is in front. Yeah, safety car. Well, I hope it takes no one out today. It did in the week, didn't it? A safety car took someone right out. Yeah, Vintage down in P20 on medium tyres now.
5 seconds and 11. I was on the side. I was literally nothing I could do about that.
Yeah, well, you report at the end of the race then.
I will do.
Obviously, depending on safety cars, it might be removed. Yeah, of course, with removing 5-cent penalties, it just depends on the how the race goes. Of course, if there's a safety car with 1 lap left to go, it comes into the last lap. If you've got 5 seconds to be removed, you could finish 10th and then end up winning the race if it's removed. So, whereas if it's safety car's in this lap, whereas if it's early on the race, of course, it's not going to make as much of a difference. So Weisheng's already back in the pack up, as we see. Yeah, Shadow's gained 2 places. DT Bev's lost 2 places, unfortunately, early on. And yeah, what did he get? Yeah, he got a 5-second penalty, as did Bradfield and Dylan. Yeah, when is Weisheng gonna drop the hammer? Then he's a safety car. He can't go yet 'cause it's still visible in front. He'll catch it, but the safety car's now going to come in. So Weisheng is free to go whenever he fancies. Let's have a look. Oh, I thought he was going to go then, but he's not. I wonder if he'll go flying into the right-hander. He's gone now, just before the corner. He's got a bit of a... Yeah, he's got a good start there. Sloth, again, a little bit slow to react. And yeah, Irish New Potato on these soft tyres really catching up to Sloth, and Sloth's going to be under pressure. He's a bit too far back to get him on the brakes, but with these soft tyres on, he's got a much better exit out of turn 1-2, and Irish is going to look really good here if he can get past Sloth, and he's much quicker. Using his ERS, pulls to the inside. Irish New Potato side by side with Sloth into the braking zone. Sloth goes to the outside to defend, and they're still side by side, but Irish just gets in front, and now Irish can push Weisheng in P1. Dylan gets past the Alpha Fox for P12. The Parkman P15. McKenty getting past Woods few cars going side by side there. Bradfield's getting passed by Farf on the mediums as well, so good move from Farf to get that done. Bradfield struggling with his track. Adams getting past Woods as well for P18. Woods struggling. Alpha Fox losing another position to Ayrton and getting past up into P13 out in front. Irish is already within a second of Voisin. He's getting a few attempts through this sector. Plotters really catching up to Slough as well. She had a soft runners much quicker at this stage of the race, and it really is going to throw a spanner in the works this, because Voisin and Slough are definitely not the two quickest drivers on the track at the moment, are they? DRS will be enabled, I think, the next lap. Of course, 3 laps after the safety car comes in. Everyone else is keeping tracks, and of course when a DRS is enabled, you do start to see a bit of a DRS train form. You can see a couple of gaps already over a second. Dylan falling back on those mediums to Bradfield. Bradfield's on the end of this, so at least Bradfield's in a good place here because he won't be under pressure from cars behind as it stands. Plotter's getting really close to Slough though, isn't he? Is he close enough? No, he's not close enough to make a move. He needs to save up that ERS, and Slough's over a second behind Irish already, so it'll be easy pickings for Plotters when DRS is enabled, you'd have to think. And at the soft, you'd think it'll last about 15-16 laps, because there's been a safety car. Now there's been a safety car, use softs, 15-16 laps. Irish is really close to DRS range. Can he pull into it? You think if he can get into it, he might be able to get Voisin. Voisin's had a good final sector though. Great addition, yeah, DRS is now enabled. Great addition to the league, Irish New Potato is. Did a few races in the Premier League last season. Didn't score any points unfortunately, but I'm sure he's found his new home here. And here we go, I think we're going to see Slough under big pressure from Plotters. I think he's... Oh, they're going to be close and they're going to the brakes. His Plotter's going to be sensible, stay behind his teammates. Just got a 3-second penalty. He's gone for it on the brakes. Plotters down the inside. Slough takes a wider line. Plotters gets in front and takes P3, and he gets the DRS as well. He was really clever how he did that. That's why he backed off into the braking. Really clever driving. And then Liam's got the DRS for Slough behind. Slough needs to be careful here, he could lose a few places, whereas Voisin in front is still... Well, we've still got Irish behind him. He's within 6 tenths now. But yeah, Voisin can stay in front of these cars, and Slough's falling down, losing places. That could be, you know, that turn 1 could be where we could look back and say that was where the race was won. Equals has control, absolutely. Yeah, Equals in P9, brilliant. He's got back into control of his car, and he didn't lose any places from it. And yeah, you see Plotters sets fast as that in P3 then, so he's looking really quick. He'll be looking to catch on to the back of this battle. Voisin's going to be under pressure from Irish, and dips his left rear into the grass too. That's not going to help. Irish not got as much ERS left. Voisin using it now to defend. It's Irish going to go for it on the brakes. No, he's not. I think he's going to be sensible, take a better line, and then go for it maybe on this straight. But Voisin has been... Oh, it's Irish. Nearly lost it there in the traction. I think Voisin's going to keep the place for another lap. Yeah, and this is really going to help Voisin. Of course, the longer that is left, the more the softs are going to be going off. Oh, McKenny's had a huge crash. McKenny and Theo have had a huge crash there. What has happened? Virtual safety car. Flick to Adam, and I see McKenny flying round, and I think Theo was collected in it as well. Unfortunately, more wing damage for Theo. Huge wing damage, in fact. Virtual safety car. Theo's been... I think Theo's just a bystander in that, but McKenty and Theo both going to have to pit again. They've both got wing damage. And yeah, definitely going to have big wing damage, as both their races have been ruined early on. As we say, anything can happen, but I wonder if any soft runners are going to pit for hards to the end. I think Woods is going to do that. Woods is in the pits. Obviously a cheaper pit stop under the VSC. But yeah, hards will definitely go to the end now. So I wonder if Woods is going to try and do that. As a drive-through penalty for the Parkter for speeding under the VSC. Dylan's getting passed by Ayrton as well, so I think he's had a slow getaway. The Parkter in P14 again. He already had to pit, and now he's got a drive-through penalty. Not looking good for him early on then. And Irish is getting really close now to Voisin within a few attempts. The cars behind are catching, though. Plotters is catching really quickly. Slough over a second behind Plotters now. He's not going to have DRS to help him defend from the train behind. But Liam, Shadders, Jake the Slayer, Bevs, Equas and Farf all really close. Bradfield's lost a lot of time. I'm not quite sure why he's fallen back, whether that was under the VSC or not, but he's struggling. Let's have a look then. And we get a yellow flag, and that's for the Alpha Fox losing it through sector 2. Weisheng, he's got a bit of a distance between himself and Irish. Irish just using that DRS to close up, saving his ERS. 3-second penalty now for Bradfield as well. He's struggling, doesn't like this track. Dylan and the Park to both come into the pits. The Park for his drive through. Not quite sure about Dylan. We saw him lose places under the VSC. Hearts are so slow, saying Serious Mushroom. They are. Woods, yeah, that's why Woods has put the mediums on them, but Theo has put the hards on. And Liam's getting past Sloth, and Sloth goes wide. I wonder if there was contact between the two cars there, and Sloth's going to get passed by Shadows as well because of that. Jake the Stay's going to have a look too. Irish, again, just not close enough to Weisheng. Weisheng is doing enough, and Plotters has lost some time. He's lost nearly a second. Not quite sure where that's come from, but he's getting that time back now from the two cars in front, taking different lines to fight each other. Sloth really close up to Shadows, but Shadows has had a great start, hasn't he? Gained a few positions. Yeah, gained 3. Sloth's lost 5 places though, all from on the track as well. No mistakes from Sloth, just not got the pace as Weisheng has on these medium tyres. Shadows almost sliding through there, but Sloth's going to have DRS now to help him defend from the rest of the cars pushing behind. But look, Farf's looking really good as well, because if Farf and Sloth, they're on the same strategy and they're really close to each other. Just a few cars between them though. And Sloth's looking really good on Shadows here. Is Irish going to challenge Weisheng again? He's used all his ERS and he's still not close enough. Irish. If he's a challenge for the race win, you'd think he's going to have to get the move done pretty soon, because these soft tyres are going to start to go off now. Plotter's under pressure from Liam too. Liam's got DRS and he's clear of Shadows. And somehow Liam, every race, even if he qualifies towards the bottom, well, not towards the bottom, but towards the bottom of the top 10, he always finds a way to drag himself into the race. And now Ayrton on these mediums getting past Bradfield, who's on softs. The Bradfield really is struggling around here. Did you put your setup on?
Yeah, setup sides, can't do this track.
Oh, he's sliding,
yeah,
he's going to hit the wall. Adams left a session and Bradfield spun. He's going to have to fling that back around. He's got to be careful where he rejoins. And yeah, of course he's ghosting anyway. I'm sure Bradfield's going to have to pit now and probably put mediums on up for a 2-stop, possibly hards to the end. Irish still within a second of Weisheng, but not close enough. Although at least using the DRS on Weisheng is keeping him clear of this battle between Plotters and Liam behind. They're on the same strategy, and Sloth's going back for a move on Shadows on the outside. Shadows turns in early and Sloth gets that move done. Good move there from Sloth. Jake the Slayer is now going to have a look at Shadows. So Sloth making those places up, probably as the mediums are now just as quick, and Dylan's getting past the Alpha Fox with P14. Adam is back in the session, good to see. He's going to keep that position too. Bradford in the pits and he's putting the mediums on, changing the nose. I think he might have served his 5-second penalty there too. Yeah. Weisheng's taken a lot of the curb there, lost a bit of time from doing that. Liam's outside DRS range now from Plotters. Defo commentator's fault there, saying, young Tommy, what did I do? Well, what now, as the partner's getting past Alpha Fox at P15. I always say something and end up causing incidents. Good exit there from Irish. He's closer this time on Weisheng. He's getting much closer. I wonder if he's going to go for a move. He's got the pace. Is he going to go for it? He's not going to go for it. He's just a tad too far back, but he goes for the better exit. And again, yeah, he doesn't like that part of the track, does he? He always seems to slide a little bit coming out at turn 2. Yeah, of course, all our gaps have gone as Adam's back in his seat. Yeah, Plotter's doing a great job on his Alfa Romeo debut. Great addition. Liam in P4, Sloth in 5th. Yeah, Sloth still under pressure from a Shadow zone. I think Jake LaSalle will be wanting to get past Shadows so we can have a go at Sloth. But yeah, Sloth is definitely still falling back from the soft runners in front. Oh, Shadows really starting to slide through there. It's going to put him under big pressure on the straights. I think he might be outside DRS range now from Sloth. No, he's not. He's just managed to cling onto the DRS. Irish again closer to Weisheng. Not so, yeah, a lot of those penalties are 5 seconds. We're not seeing too many 3-second penalties yet. Theo's left the session. He's even closer this time. Irish, he's got to go for it. Oh, is he going to go for it on the inside? He backs off. He's going to go for a good exit again. he gets a better exit. He doesn't slide, but he's just nowhere near as quick as and Shadows and Jake the Slayer. Jake the Slayer goes to the outside. I think he's going to get the move done. He does. Irish just doesn't seem to be as quick. Accelerating out of turn 2 as Bradfield gets another 3-second penalty. He's running last now. And Bev's now getting past Shadows as well. He's going for a move on the inside, and he gets it done as well. So Shadows has been passed by 3 cars the last couple of laps. And it doesn't stop there because Ecos and Farf right behind him too, and Ecos goes wide, and that's going to give Farf a chance to get a good run on him, but just not got the room there. He's going to go to the inside though. Oh, what a move that is from Farf. And fair play to Ecos there as well for leaving him the room. I know some drivers would have just shut the door there, but Ecos left the room. Oh, I think he's just glitching there, isn't he, Ecos? Yeah, he is. Ecos is lagging quite a bit there. But yeah, he left the room there, Ecos, but quality move that from Farf. Both Ferraris 7th and 9th now. Shadows in 8th in the middle of them. Irish not as close this time. He's out of VRS as well, isn't he? Weisheng saved up plenty of VRS. Something is going to have to happen to stop Weisheng winning this race, because he is at the moment. Yeah, Sloths are one of the same strategies in. There's 3 cars between them, and a good 7 seconds or so as well. And I think he might start now to pull away from Irish Weishengs. I think 13 laps on these softs. That could be the best of their life done. In fact, Irish is going to be lucky to stay within DRS range on the straight. He needs a good couple of turns here. And he hasn't done it, has he? He's just done it because the line's just before. He only just gets a DRS. And Farf's getting past Shadows. Oh, that's because Shadows is slowing down and he's coming into the pit, so he's the first one to pit. Ecos just behind coming as well, and I should think it'll be mediums to the end for these two. So yeah, it puts Ayrton up into the points, it'll put Adam back up into the points too, and yeah, Irish already 1.6 behind Weisheng now. Plotters 3.4 off Irish. Oh, and there we go, Irish losing it there again. He doesn't like that place at all. Plotters losing it too. These softs really are going off. I think it's time for him to pit. Liam's doing alright though. I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed out. Sloth of course will stay out. Shake the stay under big pressure from DC Bevs. Is Bevs going to go for a move? He's not. He's going to back off. Yeah, sensible there from Bevs. Yeah, Bevs looking quick at this stage of the race. Farf, and I've got to say Ayrton. What a job Ayrton has done. He's not too far off. He's 4.3 seconds off Farf. And Sloth's only a couple of seconds up the road from that. So really good race here from Ayrton on those medium tyres. He's on for a good haul of points here. If he can keep this together. Bradfield, perfect reason to stop drinking and driving, yeah. Absolutely. It does not help. Yeah, here we go. We've got runners pitting now. Plotters in the pits. Jake the Slayer stays out. Irish has stayed out too. And oh, Ayrton's just taught him up. He gets a penalty. And someone's gone. It's Woods. Woods has had a spin in sector 2. Gets it back running though, so it couldn't have been too bad. He's got wing damage though, unfortunately again. So yeah, Plotters comes out the pits. He's now got a 3-second penalty as well. Now Woods, Plotters comes out right behind Vintage, so he's into traffic. Liam's just behind Plotters. Shadows a few seconds further back as well. And Ecos comes out just behind the Partridge where he's going to have DRS, so I wonder if he's going to get this move done now. He wants to get it done as soon as possible. The Parkton changes the way that he was defending just in time, and it's a great move from Ecos round the outside to get past the park. They made it look easy. Great move there. Farf gets a 3-second penalty, and that could be important towards the end of the race. Weisheng pits. Is he going to put the hard tyres on and go to the end? Irish in the pits too. We saw this from Weisheng, didn't we, in I think it was Italy. He did medium soft. Was it Italy? He did medium hard, and he's going to do the same again. And yeah, Sloth did a different strategy, didn't he? He did the medium soft. But yeah, Weisheng likes this strategy. It's probably definitely a safer strategy, and he won't be as quick. But in terms of tyre wear, he'll be much more comfortable. And Weisheng, we've seen his quality ups. He absolutely pushed it to limits, and Farf's getting past Jake the Slayer down to turn 2. So maybe Weisheng feels he's got enough pace without pushing the tyre wear, and he's just going to play it safe. But Sloth leads. 2.5 clear of Farf. They're on the same strategy on the mediums. Jake the Slayer yet to pit on these soft tyres. I'm sure he will on this lap because he's just been passed now by Farf. Ayrton 5.8 further back on the mediums too. He's holding up Weisheng at the moment, which is needed for the race. But yeah, Irish 4.7 behind Plotters and Liam. Irish has lost some time because he was a couple of seconds clear of Plotters. Yeah, Lee's 3, Irish, Plotters and Liam are effectively, or as Weishane's getting really close, surely not on the inside here, surely not going for a move here. No, he backs out of it. They lost time though, and he's going to go, no, he's not going to go on the inside here either. Yeah, he's lost a good half a second though, Weishane, from this battle here. Jake the Slayer's in the pits. He's going to go for it down to turn 1, Weishane. He's not going to back out of that one. He gets his nose in front, and then on the other side, Weishane, clever legs, he gets a DRS too. Yeah, Irish, Plotters and Liam are effectively 3rd, 4th and 5th at the moment. But it depends, of course, because Sloth and Farf, I think, will come out behind them, but they'll be on the fresh softs when they pit in a couple of laps' time, so they'll be quicker. And it'll be interesting to see if Irish, Plotters and Liam can gain on Weisheng being on the mediums. You know, Weisheng's probably the quickest driver. His tyres were definitely in better nick at the end. But if Irish can gain, which I don't think he is by that much at the moment, I think Weisheng is pulling away. Irish, of course, has got to worry about the 2 cars behind as well, so he's going to be a bit defensive too. Welcome to Williams, Tommy. Couldn't pick the better team. Yeah, absolutely, young Tommy. Going to be joining Silver with our partners ALR, isn't he? Racing with myself on a Monday night, so be interesting to see Tommy racing with us, Serious Mushroom, his teammate. Liam has, I'm sure that would have been a warning, he would have just got there. Yeah, it's about 4.4 seconds between Weisheng, and Weisheng's closing up on the top 2 now. He's only 7 seconds off Sloth, and Sloth's not pitted yet. Crazy how quick Weisheng is. Who else should we look out for? Yeah, Ayrton, of course, yet to pit too, but he's going to be on the soft tyres when he pits in a couple of laps. Vintage in P8 as well. Shannon's getting passed by Equaz, and Shannon's going to have a look back, and Bev's on the park to their side by side to turn 2 as well. They make contact just that Bev's gets through, and Shadow's still side by side with Equaz. I think Equaz is going to have this. Yeah, he does an Alex Albon around the outside. Shadow's, no, he doesn't take him out like Lewis Hamilton did to Albon. He's yeah, a bit slower at this stage of the race, so Shadows and Equaz going to be looking to push on now, but both of them looking good for points. Of course, Jake the Slayer and DT Bevs, they've lost out to Equaz and Shadows, who pitted a couple of laps earlier. And Irish has now got a 3-second penalty as well, so same as Ayrton and Farf. So that's good for Sloth, Plotters and Liam in this battle. Yeah, Vintage doing really well on these mediums, and the Park, I think's lost it. He has. Oh, it's a strange place to lose it there. He's in turn 8. He's not got wing damage. I wonder if he was just looking to hog that apex, trying to get into the pits, and then hit it too much and lost traction. Yeah, still got all 20 cars running, which is great to see. Vintage up in 8th. This league's for him, isn't it? Absolutely loving this from Vintage. Ayrton's getting passed by Irish, and that's important. That's important for Irish, because he'll be wanting to use Ayrton now, almost just to hold Plotters and Liam up behind as a wingman. So Irish will really want to be pushing it through this sector to try and get out of DRS range. It is all, as Sloth now pits, it's already 8 attempts back to Ayrton, but look, Ayrton's getting passed by Plotters, so that's definitely not worked. And Ayrton now coming in the pits, Sloth's in the pits, the Farf takes the lead of the race. Weisheng's in P2, just a few seconds back. Irish is going to take P3. Plotters is in DRS range, Liam in DRS range of Plotters, so Ayrton pitting didn't help Irish there. And yeah, they're not gaining on Weisheng. Weisheng's has got too much pace even on these hard tyres, so I won't blame him for doing a safer strategy. Vintage moves up to 6th now. Equaz in 7th. Sloth's really going on Equaz. He's just come out on these fresh softs into some traffic, and Shadow's right behind. He's going for a move on Sloth on the inside. Sloth didn't expect it, and they make contact. Shadow slides a little bit, there's no damage though, and Sloth keeps the position. Jake the Slayer's giving him a chance to get a run on Shadows though. Is he going to go down the outside? He is going to be late on the brakes. He's going to make a move around the outside. And Shadows, oh, that nearly was a repeat of the Hamilton Albon incident. But Jake the Slayer has a good move from him there, although he's slower here. They nearly make contact, and the car's in front. Who's this? I think that's Sloth and Equaz. Equaz goes wider, and Sloth pushes his way through there. Vintage up next to him. Farf comes into the pits finally then, so with a fresher Softs right at the end, and Sloth's got. Ooh, I think Sloth misjudged Vintage there. Vintage cut over the corner. I think Sloth really misjudged Vintage's pace there, and Vintage gets overtaken by Equaz and Jake the Slayer now as well. Back down to P8 and for Vintage. I think he will be pitting probably on this lap to go Softs to the end, and Equaz has got DRS. Plotters, look how close he's getting. Liam getting as well to P2, and yes, Sloth's got 7.8 seconds to make up to these three fighting, and Plotters is going down the inside of Irish. Irish late on the brakes, so they make contact. Plotters was really late on the brakes. He locked up, but he gets side by side. Irish is going to, I think, edge it again. Back out in front. Plotters is going to fight it around the outside. Irish carries more speed through, and he gets that position back. Yeah, I think Plotters was a bit late on the brakes there. He did lock up and then went into the side of Irish, and that allowed Irish to get a run back on the outside and take that place back. Farf's going to be fast in the last stint. He's down in P10, and looking with Farf, he's now getting past Shadows. He made another move through that corner, and Woods is retired to carve in the pits. There's another, I don't know why he's done that. Absolutely crazy. Points deduction for him. Vintage comes into the pits finally. Farf in P8 then. Shadows takes that P9 back up in the points. Bev's in P10 now as well. He'll be looking to close up, and yeah, there's a bit of a gap to Ayrton, who's now going to overtake Vintage and go up to P10. Yeah, I think it's about 10 seconds. But it's only 7.3, and of course, traffic out in front, and Ayrton is on fresh soft. And look at this gap now. Sloth 5.9 off these three. Where these three are fighting each other, it's allowing Weisheng to clear off into the lead, and it's allowing Sloth to really close up to them as well. And Equals and Jake the Slayer back out behind Farf in 8th on the fresh softs too. I wouldn't rule him out yet. Of course, he's got a 3-second penalty, which isn't going to help him. Yeah, I wouldn't rule him out of catching up. At least getting into the top 5 at least. McKenty in P13's done a really good job. He's still going to have to pit, I think. Doubt he'll do 26 laps. Vintage comes out the pits in P14 on fresh softs. Brilliant stint from Vintage. Sloth does the fastest lap of the race. Of course, that'd be a bonus point as it stands. Irish doing a great job to defend from Plotters and Liam, but I think Plotters is going to have a good run to him here. Is he going to go for it on the inside? He's got the pace, and Irish is late on the brakes on the outside, and he gets a good exit this time, Irish. But Plotters is still side by side, and this is a great battle between these two. Bev's getting past Shadows for P9. Irish then, he's late on the brakes again. He's going to swoop round the outside. They make contact, and Irish keeps the place. This is a brilliant race. We've got battles going on all over the track. Jake the Slayer's getting fighting with Farf and Equals, and Irish keeps the position for now. We've got to go to this battle now. There's 3 cars side by side. Jake the Slayer's going to have them both up. Oh, but Equals slows down. Equals has been passed back by Farf, so I don't know if Farf got impacted by Equals and Jake racing. Farf gets that move done. He loves getting those moves done there, doesn't he? Really aggressive Farf there. Not sure if there was contact anywhere with Jake the Slayer, because I'm sure Farf and those fresh shots wouldn't have lost out to Equals. And Farf gets another 3-second penalty now fighting it on that final corner, going a bit wide. 6.5 seconds though. Weisheng is out in the lead. And yeah, I think Jake the Slayer is going to be caught here. Or he's got plenty of ERS saved up though, isn't he? So, and Farf hasn't, so well, I'm wrong there. Well, if Farf's going to go for it on the brakes, he's really, really late on the brakes, and he's going to lose a couple of positions, I think, now Farf as he comes back onto the track. Oh, he's lucky though. Equals has fallen back. Otherwise, he might have done. He's not lost much there at all, Farf. He's not going to go for it on the brakes this time, though. Jake the Slayer slow for that corner. I think makes contact at the back of Farf. McKenty gets a 3-second penalty. He has now pitted for soft tyres, and Bradfield's not happy down in P16. And Jake, oh, and Farf's lost it. Farf spun, and he's in the wall, and he's lost his end plate. So he's going to have to pit for that. Farf, he just hit too much of that curb and went spinning. He's going to have to come in the pit stop. I think Ayrton's going to take that 10th place off him when he comes into the pits. Sure, he will pit. He can't carry on with that much damage. Yeah, both end plates are gone, unfortunately, for Farf. So he's going to come into the pits and change that, and his chance of big points gone, you'd have to say, for Farf. But still everything to play for. Forget a safety car. can come back into it, of course, and there's the fastest lap point. 2. Plotters still can't get past Adam, now up into P11, but Ayrton in P10 and chasing up to the pack in front. Let's have a look at Weisheng. Yeah, we said at the beginning of the race he's not managed to clear the pack often, but he has today, hasn't he? Great strategy so far from it. It was all so important when he got past Sloth into P1 into turn 1. McKenty's currently got the fastest lap point now, and we get a yellow flag, and that is for Adam in the other Red Bull. He's fallen down, and Vintage is up into 11th. Absolutely incredible. He's close to getting championship points here, Vintage. Irish then, he's moving across the track to try and get avoid the cars behind slipstreaming, which is allowed as long as you are clearly away from the guy in front, as you sort of think we saw Pierre Gasly do, didn't we, at Monza when he had Carlos Sainz so far behind him, going into Parabolica, didn't he? And this Irish, I've got to say, doing an absolutely fantastic job to constantly defend like this. 3 DRS zones at a quick track like this, he's done an epic job. Plotters has got pace. Oh, I think he's going to have him here down the inside, but again Irish later on the brakes swoops in there side by side, and again Irish, he's just quick on the accelerator at the moment, isn't he? But Plotters gets his nose in front, he's going to turn in, they're going to go side by side, and they make contact, and Irish has spun. They've made contact. Plotters has got a penalty for that, for cutting the corner. Irish on the grass then, when we saw Valtteri Bottas, didn't we, in that Mercedes. He's now got to wait to get back onto the track. Equals and Bev's past, but yeah, it was contact with Plotters, who now moves up into P2. Liam in 3rd, Sloth 4th, and Sloth on these fresh soft tyres, not so fresh anymore. Looking to get back into it, but Irish has now rejoined him down in P10, unfortunately for him. Again, it looked like they were just side by side, and Plotters getting passed by Liam then. Of course, Plotters not got DRS from Irish now. And Liam moves up to P2, and Sloth's going for it on the outside as well. Sloth gets the move done. Plotters went up to P2, and now he's off the podium just like that, because he lost that DRS from Irish. Irish is in the pits, and he's putting fresh softs on to the end. Now it's Liam who's got to defend that P2 from Sloth. Epic battle. Absolutely brilliant. Jake the Slayer under pressure from Equals for P5. Bev's in 7th, Shadows 8th, Ayrton 9th. Vintage then is in P10. Still on the freshest tyres in the top 10, and their softs. He's got 3.7 to the park, so the park dude's not got any penalties, and Irish is side by side with McKenty. He saw a yellow flag, I'm not quite sure what it's for, on the brakes. Irish, oh, McKenty's fighting it on the outside, and he keeps the place. Brilliant racing there from McKenty. This is down for P15, and Irish is going to go for it down the inside. He's thinking about it, he's stuck his nose in there, but McKenty's too quick round the outside, and Sloth's getting past Liam down into turn 2. Sloth gets the move done. He's got 9.6 seconds to chase Weisheng with 7 laps left. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. If Weisheng's going to get penalties, then it's possible. Farf goes up to P12. Yeah, really impressive to only see 1 DNF here so far. Theo's back in the pits, and that was someone retiring the pits, which I absolutely hate to see. Yeah, we have seen a couple of incidents side to side. A couple of cars have gone off. Yeah, Plotters is now the man on a mission to try and get back onto that podium. The thing is, he's got that penalty too, so even if he does get past Sloth and Liam again, he's going to have hard work extending the gap, isn't he? And we get a yellow flag, and that's for... I don't know what it's for. I think it's for a racing point of Theo. And, oh yeah, it's Alpha Fox. Theo, I think it was, being lapped by Vintage. Liam's got a 3-second penalty, so it's game on. Game on between Plotters and Liam. This is for position then, because Liam's going to be outside of DRS doing. So I think Sloth, well, he is over a second. Liam might have just creeped in DRS. He has, so he's still going to cling onto that for Sloth for one more lap. Bradfield has spun at the same place again. He's lost it, got end plate damage. He's not happy with this track. He's got space to get back on the track. Adam and Weisheng running around together, aren't they? Both Red Bulls driving through each other. Not sure, good idea for Adam to do that, to try and put off his teammate. And Liam outside DRS range now from Sloth, so this is a straight battle for the final podium spot, you'd think, between Liam and Plotters. both on 13 lap pole mediums, both got a 3-second penalty. Straight fight for them both, straight fight between Jake and Equals, the P5. Jake's tyres a few laps quicker, and there we go, Weissing's got a 3-second penalty. He's got a 3-second penalty. It's 9.3, 9.2, 9.1, back to Sloth. So it's effectively 6.2. So if Weissing gets another penalty and Sloth can close up a bit more, it's doable, but at the moment Sloth's falling back, and Weissing's getting TRS from his teammate Adam, isn't he? Adam on these fresh softs, just carrying his teammate around with TRS. So that's really going to help Weissing. Plotters and Liam then getting close. They're getting close, but not quite close enough at the moment. And Drake the Slay is just doing enough to defend from Equals. Yeah, that was close. Saying serious motion, that pen will cost him a lot. Saying young Tommy just missed another pen that came up as I was reading the comments. But can Vintage with 5 laps left hold on to this battle? Hold on to this final point. It's 2.5 clear of the Parkter, who's got penalties, isn't he? 12 seconds of penalties. I think Vintage has done it unless he makes a mistake. Irish gets past McKenty for P14. Oh, it's such a shame Irish isn't back up there. Side by side with Plotters through sector 2, wasn't he? He's had that spin. I'm sure he'll send that into us at the end of the race. We'll have a look at that, but it didn't look anyone wholly at fault at first glimpse. They were side by side, and the turn Irish left-handers now going through. Justin can't get through there on his own, let alone side by side with another car. He's down in P18, he's spun there twice. Oh, what was that? Sloth, yeah, Sloth's over 10 seconds clear now. Look, he might say, oh, why is Adam quicker than Weissing? Well, the same pace as Weissing at the moment. It's because Adam's on fresh soft tyres down the back of the grid. P16. But yeah, it's helping Weissing just put away even more, isn't it? Just constantly getting his DRS. Really, really clever strategy from the Red Bull team. I'm sure we'll be thanking Adam after, because with the penalty, Sloth on the soft tyres might have been able to close up. 4 laps left here in Spielberg. Come on, DT Bev saying Jeff C. Let's have a look at DT Bev's down into P7. He's got to save a bit of fuel at some point, but he's running comfortably at the moment. Jake the Slayer's got penalties as well, so he might get a position there. Bradfield's got the fastest lap, so that's a bonus point as it stands for AlphaTauri and Bradfield himself. Vintage has got 2.2 on the Parkter. The Parkter's tyres will start to go off, but Farf's putting him under pressure. But it doesn't matter with the amount of penalties they got anyway, and it is only Vintage, Bev's, Equals, and Liam's getting past Plotters. He's done it. Oh no, but Plotters is going to fight it back. He gets a much better exit, and Plotters gets the move back on the exit from turn 3. Brilliant racing between them two from what we saw of it anyway. Yeah, but it's only Sloth, Equals, Bevs and Vintage that have got the penalties, and the Parkter and Farf are fighting it down to turn 2. I think the Farf went on the brakes, but he gets caught back, but then he gets a better exit, and Farf gets the move done. The Parkter's going to fight it on the brakes, so on the inside he locks up slightly. They do make contact, but Farf gets that move done up into P11. And now Farf want to be chasing onto Vintage. Of course, he's got 9 seconds of penalties, so it doesn't matter so much anyway. Ayrton in 9th and looking good for points, and he's catching up to Shadows as well. Ayrton's got 12 seconds of penalty, so Vintage could be on for 2 points here. Bradfield gets another 3-second penalty. That's 18 seconds of Bradfield. Unbelievable amount of penalties. And there we go. I think Ayrton's going to have Shadows here, isn't he? Shadows won't fight it too much because he'll know that Ayrton's got 12 seconds of penalty, so he'll have that place back anyway when they cross the line. McKenty gets a 3-second penalty. Yeah, I wouldn't fight that too much, Shadows. We get a yellow flag, and that's just for a Haas of the Alpha Fox moving out of the way of the cars. He's lapping, and Theo's got a 3-second penalty. He really had a race to forget, hasn't he? How many pit stops has he had? 4 pit stops. Yeah, he's a lot of wing changes, I think it's fair to say. He's a couple of laps down now on Weissing, but he's stuck with it. He's stuck in the race, doesn't retire in the pits, and Theo has the same as 95% of people, which we absolutely love. Keeps going. Liam in P4 then, looking to get that place on Plotters. He had a go on the last lap, didn't he? Just couldn't get it done. He's only got a lap, well, just under 2 laps left to do it in. And Farf's getting past Vintage. Vintage is not going to fight that at all, because Farf's got 9 seconds of penalty. He's not going to gain that in the next 2 laps. And into the pits comes McKenzie. Dylan's just come in the pits too. That's to try and get the fastest that point back that Bradfield currently has. Yeah, Jake, Equos really falling back from Jake Slay now. I think those 3 lap fresher tyres from Jake really made a difference over the last couple of laps. Anyways, Weisheng crosses the line to start the final lap of a race that he dominated qualifying, didn't he, Weisheng, until the final run in Q3, the one that matters. Sloth got him, and then Weisheng got Sloth into turn 1, and then that was it, wasn't it? Weisheng's just pulled away. Even on a slower strategy, he's managed to get P1 here, and he's looking good to get promoted, isn't he? This is the real battle we've got to watch though. Sloth looks like he's got seconds unless he makes a mistake somewhere. It's Plotters and Liam goes really, he's gone a bit deep there, Liam. That's going to ruin his chances, I think, of getting past Plotters. He's going to have to do it. Now, you'd think, and he's too far back. Oh, he's late on the brakes, so you never know. We've seen some really adventurous overtakes. Oh, and Liam's put his foot down a bit too early there and started spinning. Shadows getting back past there, and he's done it in the braking zone down to turn 2. We're going to go on board with Weisheng then as he comes through the final corner. Absolute domination, start to finish. Weisheng wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Fantastic, 12.6 seconds clear as well of Sloth. Sloth, who's going to be next. He was Weisheng's main. Oh, he's got a puncture. Sloth's got a puncture. His left front somehow. And he's lucky. Then Plotters gets P3 on his full championship debut, but Sloth, only 15 laps on those softs, gets a puncture on the left front, and he's lucky that wasn't any earlier on. Liam 4th, Jake 5th, Bev's in 6th, Equals takes 7th, Shadders, he's about to cross the line. And with penalties, he's going to stay 8th. Ayrton's got so many penalties, but I don't think he's going to keep that 9th. Farf's going to cross the line, Bradford gets another penalty. Yeah, Farf closes up to Ayrton. Vintage crosses the line. Vintage gets 9th on his full championship debut. That's absolutely incredible. Ayrton takes P10. Farf is in 11th. Oh, Vintage, absolutely incredible. Put him up to the championship and he gets 2 points on his debut in it. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And he gets driver of the day from the game as well.
Well done, man. Well done.
What an incredible drive. I'll have a full look through the standings. Through the results. Oh, that was brilliant. There is Weisheng on the top step of the podium. So there we go, and Weisheng taking the win. Sloth in 2nd, despite that puncture at the end. Plotters in 3rd, and he was involved in an incident with Irish, which I presume we're going to have a look at the end of the race. Put Irish right down because he was in the mix for that final podium spot. Liam in 4th, then more solid points for Liam. Jake DeSlow in 5th, good points for him. DT Bez finishes where he started. Equals up to 7th after not being able to be in control of his car at the beginning. Great effort from Equals. Shadows back in the points, love to see that. Vintage, as we mentioned as well. Incredible to get a couple of points when you think this Austria last season it was 3 seconds off the pace. And then P10 takes the final point. Yeah, Farf unfortunately had an off as well of his own. That was an incident on his own, unfortunately for Farf, but outside the points now, of course, Irish, the big loser out of the incidents, you'd have to say, in the park. So I don't know what happened early on to cause that safety car, but the Parkter got wing damage from it. Adam, Dylan, McKenty, and Bradfield gets the fastest lap, so no one could beat it in the end. Bradfield gets the bonus points, which will definitely help him as equivalent to P10. So he takes that. Theo in P19 and Woods, unfortunately, with the DNF. Great race, enjoyed that, saying Serious Mushroom, absolutely. Great race that was, nice one Jake, good fun too, saying Equals, yeah, Equals, solid P7 there. If you're consistently in the points like Equals is in this league, it must be a quick driver, he clearly is. Yeah, DT Bev's fans are at it again, great P6 for DT Bev, solid drive, didn't see too much of him, but he wasn't involved in any incidents, had a relatively quiet race, and got the points. Yeah, Theo not too happy, and well done to Vintage for in a moment. Say great way to end it off. And Tommy saying Plotters would have got it either way. Yeah, young Tommy was supporting him all the way, wasn't he? But yeah, absolutely quality race. Really enjoyed that. Premier League tomorrow. Of course, Premier League last year. That was that race that got race of the season, wasn't it? Cowie P20 to P1. Can we see more of the same tomorrow then? We'll see you at about 7:30 tomorrow for the Premier League. Same place. And thank you very much for watching, and good night.